I had just lost my job after 9 years in the company. I was let go as if I had only started a month ago, without notice, without explanation. Turns out the bosses were not paying their suppliers and lost their company as collateral for their debt. It has been a very tough year for all of us. This pandemic has brought all businesses down, regardless of their size, and the economy is just a giant bubble that it's about to pop at any moment. This can't be happening, I yelled. Why now? Why me? What am I going to do? I just moved out of home with my girlfriend, and all the bills are coming soon. What am I going to do? Call her and tell her that I am broke and that I can't provide? I was losing it. Financially, I was barely living check to check, and losing this job didn't make it any better. I have to find something soon. I will take anything for now until I can find something better. I couldn't just lose hope. I had to look for another job and fast. I went online on those websites where recruiters and businesses post their open positions. There were so many jobs, but none were for my field, unfortunately. Most of the jobs were entry level, and all of them were way below the pay range I was looking for. I was devastated. All of them were horrible job options that I would never see myself in, but I really needed a job while I continued my search. So I applied to as many jobs as I could. I didn't care for how much they were paying or the position. I might have spent 25 minutes applying to different jobs when suddenly I received my first reply. Wow, that was fast. They must be in a rush to hire someone. Little did I know that this was a red flag. The email read, "Hey Andre, this is Tom from the Facilities Department at St. Patrick's. I just came across your application and I would like to set up an interview with you whenever you're free. Send me your availability. I hope to hear from you soon." I thought to myself, St. Patrick's? Is that a hospital? I don't remember applying to this place. Well, I do need the job, so I might as well see what this is about. I replied to the email. "Hi Tom, thank you for contacting me. I am free right now and I will most likely be free for the rest of the week. We can meet any time that works better for you. Thank you." 2 minutes later, I received a reply from Tom. "See you at 1 p.m. Here's the address. Don't be late." Excited about the chance of finding a new job, I looked up the address that Tom had sent me. To my surprise, it was the address of a church in New York called the Basilica of St. Patrick's Old Cathedral. I didn't give it too much thought at the moment. All I wanted to do was to get ready to be on my way there. I didn't want to cause a bad impression in this interview. Being on time is late, right? I told myself while tying my tie in front of the mirror. I'm sure everything will go well, and if it doesn't work out, there are more places to try it. And so, off I went to my interview at the St. Patrick's Church. There was no way to miss it. The place was huge, a grand, magnificent structure in the middle of a busy street. What kind of job am I getting into? I asked myself while going through the big red door of the church. The place was full of images of saints, the windows with the typical stained glass, and a large crucifix placed at the center of the church above the altar. There was an old-looking man, maybe in his late 60s, with a bushy mustache, sitting in one of the benches close to the altar. "You must be Andre. I'm glad you made it. Welcome," he said while walking to meet me halfway there. "I have never been to this church. It's beautiful," I said as we sat down on one of the benches. "I'm glad you like it, and thank you for coming on such short notice. You probably have a lot of questions about this job. Let me start by saying that this is one of the easiest jobs you'll ever have. I am looking for a security guard to walk around the premises, maybe do some maintenance work here and there. Nothing crazy. It is an overnight position, probably not the best, but we are offering $35 per hour to start. What do you think?" "A security guard?" I replied confused. Something wasn't right. I have worked as a security guard before, and the pay was nowhere close to even $20 per hour. I haven't been to a church in a long time, but I don't remember ever seeing one with security guards. Something was off. "Why do you need a security guard for the church?" I asked without hesitation. "We have been having people jumping over the walls that surround the place at night, and since this is not just a church but also a tourist destination, we want to avoid any damage to the property," Tom answered with a smile. A smile that was hiding something. Couldn't tell at the moment, but... "And we are offering $35 per hour because it is an overnight shift and the place is..." He paused while looking away. "The place is quite big and important for the community." And I could still feel as if there was a catch to this job offer. But I really needed to get a job, and $35 per hour is not a common pay rate. Not for this kind of job, especially in mid-pandemic. I accepted the job offer and was told to come back at 9 p.m. to meet with James to prepare me for my first night as a security guard for the church. I decided to stay around because I live a bit far from here. I grabbed some food and took a little nap in a cafe. When I woke up, I called my girlfriend to tell her the news of me losing my morning job and that I will start my new shift tonight as a security guard for the church. She didn't like the idea of me spending the night out. She told me that we could find better options, closer to home and in a better time. I should have listened to her. She was right, but my pride made me just take the job so she wouldn't have to pay for everything at home.
Be careful out there. I will see you tomorrow, okay? Love you.
Don't worry, I will be fine. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you too. I hung the phone as I got to the entrance of the church. "You must be Andre." I was greeted by a guy around my age with a very positive energy. "I am James, the security guard from the first shift," he said while handing me a flashlight. "Let's go over some rules before you start. I bet Tom didn't bother mentioning any details, didn't he?" He laughed. "It's okay, I will show you around." We went inside of the church. "This is the easy part. You get to spend your time here most of the time. Just make sure you go outside every hour to check if there is any movement. Let's walk outside so you have a feel for what you have to do." That's right. I have never seen what was around the church. We walked around the church. There were what looked like rocks on the ground. I turned on my flashlight and pointed it at the ground. It was a cemetery. James noticed my reaction and laughed. "If you think that's scary, you are not prepared for what's over there," he said while aiming his flashlight farther down to another entrance. "Our famous catacombs." His tone of voice changed. "I am going to be honest with you, and I'm sure Tom didn't mention this either." I knew something was off, but I couldn't figure it out before. The last guy only lasted a week working here. He said he saw a woman or girl running through the cemetery to the entrance of the catacombs. I myself have never seen anything like that before, but for the way he left, it just tells me that he wasn't playing around. I didn't know what to think. I am not a big believer of the supernatural or the paranormal, but I was already here, so I might as well give it a try. How naive I was. I should have left when I had a chance. He wished me good luck and left in a rush, like if he was trying to escape before something else happened. I was alone, and surprisingly I wasn't scared, but I had so many questions. The way Tom and James acted felt as if they knew something else, and they were trying to hide it from me. Time went by, and around 12 a.m. it was time to go for another round around the church. This was my third round today, so I was fairly familiar with what I had to do and in which way to go. I went outside, and it felt as if the temperature had dropped drastically from one hour to the other. I didn't give it too much thought, but it certainly gave me a weird feeling. I don't know how to explain it. I felt observed. "Who's there?" I yelled while aiming my flashlight everywhere possible. "Who's there? Show yourself or I will call the police!" I yelled again, but nothing. It was quiet. It was just me. Was my head playing games? Was it maybe an animal just running around? I tried to think of an explanation, but I just couldn't make sense of it. Come on, Andre, don't let a little noise throw you off. Just a couple more hours and you'll be on your way home. I swear I saw someone or something through the corner of my eyes moving fast. I ran inside the church as fast as I could, away from whatever it was out there. My heart was beating fast while trying to catch my breath. I don't know what was that, but it was too fast. Maybe it was just a product of my imagination. Maybe I'm just tired since I'm not used to being up all night. So I made myself a cup of coffee and tried to relax. It'll be fine. I'm sure it was nothing. I will take a better look on my next round. 1 a.m. came faster than expected. It was time to go out again on another round. A job is a job. I said it to push myself to go back out, to remember why I was there in the first place. I grabbed my flashlight and headed outside. Everything was going normal. Nothing was out of the ordinary until I turned around the corner towards the cemetery. The entrance of the catacombs was open. There was no way that someone could have opened the doors without making any noise. The doors were huge and old. That's impossible. I ran to the entrance to see if someone was there. It looked empty. Just a long corridor with dim lights. It gave me chills just thinking that this place was full of dead bodies from so long ago. Why would someone go out of their way to break into this place so late at night? It just didn't make sense to me. I armed myself with courage and decided to go inside. I wish I could go back in time and never come to this place. I walked slowly through the corridor, reading some of the crypts along the way. If I'm not mistaken, they slide coffins in these halls and then close them with cement. Then they put the name of their family as they would on a gravestone. I felt uneasy. A gut feeling was telling me to go back outside. I should have listened to my intuition. As I was about to turn the corner to another corridor, I heard some knocks coming from the corridor I was just in. I couldn't tell exactly if it was from the floor or from the ceiling, but definitely not from one of the crypts, right? That's not possible. It can be. I was interrupted abruptly by what sounded as if someone was walking barefoot. It came from the other corridor. I ran to see if the intruder was there. I wish I didn't. I wish I stopped there and ran away and never looked back. I picked my head out and I saw her, a pale girl with long black hair, wearing what it looked like old dirty rags, walking aimlessly through the corridors. I couldn't believe it, and just as I blinked, the mysterious girl disappeared. There was no one. I looked everywhere, every corridor, every room. It was empty. I was alone and confused, thinking that it was just me, tired and hearing things. I'll just go back to the church. I need some sleep. This job is not for me. I'll complete this day, but I'm not doing this again, I said out loud while looking for the exit. I hope that was not what I think it was. I ran as fast as I could towards the entrance. It was closed. "Let me out! Let me out!" I yelled while banging at the door as hard as I could, but no response. I tried calling anyone, but of course, there was no connection here. "Whoever is doing this, please stop and let me out!" I yelled once more, with no luck. I sat by the door. Might as well wait here until the morning when they open up this place again. Time went by. It was 3:15 a.m. The temperature was lower than ever. It was just me. and silence. Dark silence. I wish it stayed that way. I really wish it did. I heard these knocks again, and this time I found where they were coming from. It wasn't from the floor or the ceiling. These knocks were coming from the cribs. I was so scared. I started sweating cold, and I could hear my heart beating out of my chest so hard and fast. I couldn't think of what to do. The knocks continued as if they were mocking me, as if someone or something enjoyed every second of my suffering. And then there it was again. I was definitely not alone. Someone else was here. Someone was walking around barefoot, and it just felt closer and closer each time. I hope I can make it out from here. I promised my girlfriend that I was going to be okay, and that I would see her in the morning. I am recording this audio in case something happens to me. Please, if you find my phone, please let everyone know to stay away from this place, that it doesn't matter how bad the situation is. Look for better opportunities and don't take just any job while in need, because if it's too good to be true, they might be hiding something from you. And to my girlfriend, let her know that I love her.